Welcome to the dark side. In this multi-part video series, we're going to take the filters off and dive deep into the shadows of twin flame connection, twin flame theory, and twin flame culture.
Hello everyone, I'm Nicole.
I'm Dev.
We're a twin flame couple, twin flame coaches, life strategists, and spiritual teachers. And this is the dark side of twin flames.
We're so excited to bring you this important series, and we need to say a couple few important housekeeping tips. First of all, make sure you watch this till the end because we have a very special free gift for you, which is going to be incredibly transformative in this journey, and we don't want you to miss it. If you're also new to us, please make sure that you subscribe, like, or follow, depending where you found this, and hit that little like button on this video too, which will help other people know about this really important content that we've got for you guys today. So in today's video, we're going to begin with the concept at large, meaning how could the entire concept of the twin flame idea or theory have a shadow? How could it be distorted or corrupted? And it really goes back to the fundamental basis that every truth, every philosophy, religion, principle, and even symbol in our world has been distorted because we are distorted.
Yeah, everything has its shadow and theory, and truth can be distorted and used to manipulate. All right, Dev and I last year watched a bunch of documentaries on, different cults, and you watch them use things like NLP and like psychological things that help transform people, that Tony Robbins is using, that other psychologists are using, and coaches are using to help people. And it can be in the hands of people that are really working through their distorted self, their darker self. There's manipulation in that, but it doesn't take away from that these things that are, and these things that we use can help people to understand more about themselves.
Yeah, and we're going to talk more about that in this series around, false information. We're going to talk about cults a little bit. We're going to talk about psychics and all of this stuff, right? We're really going to dive in. We're really taking the filters off and diving into the subject. And so, just thinking about yourself for a second, right? So when I said we are distorted, I mean, we as humans have distortion because we've got wounds, we've got trauma, we've got incidents. And so when you're filtering a concept through, you're not just understanding that the concept is, at its purest form. You're either getting the information from another person, right? And even us as thought leaders and as teachers, spiritual teachers and guides, we remind people, listen, we are creating the clearest channel and vessel that we can to bring you the clearest messages and bridge the gap between, source, right? And to you, right? And get that information, translate that complicated information. But we're also vessels that are humans, right? So you're getting that from other people, and you're getting your own messaging. If somebody teaches you something, you're also filtering it through your own filter.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's really not, it's our job to really not throw out entire concepts. It's really our job to not dismiss entire schools of thought or philosophy or a symbol, right? So a lot of our geometric symbols and design and art symbols and sacred symbols throughout time and history, and we're not going to do a whole video on this. There are many amazing videos, out there on the internet about how symbols have been distorted, but sacred geometry, sacred symbols have been distorted. And so what we've done then, we reject all of it, right? We reject it as a whole. So, there can be a lot of the twin flame concept can be distorted. It can be used to create manipulation, and it can be distorted through your own self, through your shadow, through your wounds, through your desires and wantings that maybe are not aligned with your truer self. And so the work, right? Here's the work. The work is not to just throw out an entire concept. And again, we're going to talk about, are twin flames real in the next video. Our job is to actually be able to come into a deeper connection and alignment with ourself.
Yes.
So that we are able, right? And that's our full dedication and work, Nicole and I, right? So if you were to sum up really all that we do, we are really bringing you back to be able to listen to yourself and to move out the stuff that is away for you to have this really pure and divine connection with yourself, others, all things, and the divine. And that allows you to gain that fundamental truth inside of yourself. And you can answer these hard questions, and you can trust in, as much as you can, the filter that you have, right? To know where is there a distortion and where is there not.
Yeah, and I'm going to use the word discernment, right? Over time for me, I love reading all kinds of sacred texts. I love, reading all kinds of different books. And I've learned to have discernment on like what feels like. I can feel it in my body now when I hear truth. And then some things I'll hear and I'm like, I'm not sure I like really, like, let's leave it there. Right. It is okay. Every book, everything that's written by a human, everything that's produced by a human can be distorted. And the way we translate it, sometimes the way we speak, we have different language. And literally we have a way of speaking. And sometimes when we're translating somebody else's message, it is translated through fear. It is translated through the wound. Right. It is like hitting like those pain points to where we want to believe, and we're going to get deeper into fantasy and obsession around the twin flame concept. You know, we want to have this belief because it does something to make us feel better. And oftentimes we put ourselves in positions to be manipulated or to go into an area or belief that actually will harm us.
Absolutely, right. You know, and I'm thinking too, you know, the areas that are often the most potent are the areas that will have the most distortion. And the reason is because what better of a place than to, you know, interfere with sacred connection, you know, sacred faith, right? Well, actually, I'm hearing from Spirit, you know, connection is really the one, right? Because we're looking at the twin flame connection, this divine spirited connection, this real union of remembrance. This is a great, right, area. If distortion was an energy, and that's for another video, right? It's a great area to create distortion because then it causes a lack of faith and it causes disconnection, right? And so just opening your eyes for a moment to the idea of, you know, where there is great truth is where we're also going to catch a lot of distortion and manipulation and falsity. And again, it's your duty. You know, if you've stumbled across this video in this series, right, there's something, it's your job to hear this and to go, you know, maybe it's not about throwing away an entire philosophy or, you know, belief. And a lot of times, and we'll talk about this more when we talk about how, you know, more about how belief systems can be used against you and create, you know, disempowerment in you. But, you know, it goes without saying that it's important to say it twice or 3 times or 1,000,000 times, right? Which is that, you know, allowing yourself to really keep those eyes open, that if there's something special like connection and faith and truth, that we can expect there to be a resistance around it, to us being able to really see it and feel it and anchor into it. And I think, you know, I also think there's a lot of shadow coming from within us around something like relationships or love, right? Because we, you know, the twin flame dynamic is really here to help break the old paradigms around relationships of what does that mean, right? Old paradigms breaking means that those internal parts are going to resist within you. And that if you have wounds like rejection, abandonment, you know, insecurity comes up for you, you know, those things are all going to play into the way you perceive this concept. You engage with relationships, you engage with yourself, which is, you know, I would argue the biggest part of the twin flame journey, right? Then that is also that internal distortion, right? So we've got this external and we've got internal distortion, and we really got to own the parts that we might be bringing to the table.
Yes.
You know? And so, you know, at large, it's a concept that makes a lot of sense that there would be a fair amount of shadow and distortion around it. At large, you know, that doesn't mean that there isn't truth in it. At large, you know, it is your job and your responsibility to get into deeper connection with yourself so that you can hear and distinguish. And you're going to hear that, you're going to hear us say that a lot throughout this process. Because there is, you know, and looking at things that are sacred concepts, sacred energies, sacred symbols, and how, you know, there has been attack on those things, just being mindful and aware of that process. Yep. So let's talk about what to expect and what's coming in this series. We're going to talk about some juicy stuff.
We so are. We're going to talk about our twin flames real, false information, psychics and cults, addiction and trauma, making the twin flame concept a fairy tale obsession, how healed you need to be in a twin flame union.
and more. So we hope that this has already been illuminating and exciting. And before you go, I said that we have a gift for you, and we will remind you of this if you are watching each of these videos, which I strongly recommend you make sure to watch all of them and more than once. There is a lot of information here in there, but we also want to make sure that you were able to take a step further. And we want to invite you into an absolutely free gift where we're going to be diving in pretty intensively into what we would call the secret to unlock the twin flame journey. And this is our gift to you over a decade of our experience, more than a decade of our time in a relationship together, but helping and assisting thousands of twin flames and thousands of individuals in their own journey. And we have really created something extra special for you. So make sure to use the link below if you're catching this on YouTube and Facebook. Use the link in the bio if you're catching this on Instagram to grab the secret to the twin flame journey. And I don't want you guys to miss that. Now, coming up next is going to be our twin flames reel. So check out that next video right after this. You probably want to binge these, and we will see you guys really soon. If you're new, remember, please subscribe. If you like this, please comment, tell us what's been supportive from this video, and like this video so that other people know to find it. We'll see you guys soon.
Big love.